Hello loves. Just start taking a little Hope for a walk, and I realised it has been so long since I did like just a chatty vlog style vlog, and I miss it. I miss being able to really be with you. Not that I'm not with you when I vlog regularly, well, how I've been vlogging recently, but sometimes, I don't know, I've been doing a lot of sit down vlogs, not intentionally, and I feel a bit, I don't know, they're a bit prim and proper. So I really wanted to just pick up my vlogging camera, get out and about and catch up. Okay, so let's just rewind to last month, which is when we moved. This is the removal guy who I'm so pleased I hired to help me. Let me know how you find moving. For me, it's very, very stressful and takes a lot of energy. So I'm really glad that I got help this time. Didn't try to do it all myself. Had a little drama. This was how the air quotes renter-friendly removable wallpaper came off the wall. So it took most of the paint off with it underneath, whereas the countertop vinyl that I put on actually came off really, really well. So there was no problem with that. But the wall, that was pretty stressful. That was quite a drama. So what I had to do was try to fix it myself, which I couldn't, and ended up having to have a professional painter come in to put the wall back to exactly the same position that it was in when I moved in, as per the agreement. But yeah, it got sorted and everything was okay in the end, and I was still super grateful to have lived in this apartment, and it felt really sad to leave it, because that will always be my first official apartment in Paris. So as far as moves go, I thought it went really, really well. It felt very exciting for me and Hope to be in a removal vans going across the city, across Paris, across to the other side of the river where our new apartment is. It didn't take long to pack up all my stuff with the two of us, and it went pretty smoothly. We did it like first thing in the morning so that the traffic wasn't bad. And yeah, it all went okay. I think Hope is now a pro at moving. She's definitely got used to changing places and seems to take it all in her stride, bless her, as long as she's got her home comforts. Very typical Taurus. She's absolutely fine. And I would say that this was the moment when all the worrying that I'd had about the move, about whether I'd chosen the right apartment, whether I'd made a mistake, if everything was going to be okay, if I was making life more chaotic than it needed to be. As soon as I got my stuff into the new studio, I knew that I'd made the right decision, and I felt home. It was really, really nice. I also felt really, really proud of us. We are just around the corner from the shoebox where we were living this time last year, and I thought I was only lucky enough to get for one summer. and now this is it. This is our apartment in my dream location in Paris, and I'm just so grateful for it. Moving aside, I've been spending a lot of time with friends. Paris in the summer is super, super fun, and the weather has been beautiful. We went to the YSL museum, which is one of those, it's my favourite kind of museum. It's very, very small, so it never feels overwhelming, and it's really, really beautiful as well. I think that you would love it. The dresses were incredible to see, the attention to detail. I loved seeing all the sketches and the history of Yves Saint Laurent as well. I've been watching and binging Becoming Karl Lagerfeld lately on Disney, so it was really exciting to see YSL's creations in real life, because he features a lot in that series. But if you're into design and you're ever in Paris, I think this is a place that you would really, really enjoy. And that brings us back to now, in the present day. I want to talk to you about something really, really big that happened recently. You may have already seen this if you follow me on Instagram. If not, follow me on Instagram. Come and join the fam. But yeah, something pretty huge happened last month as well. Last month was big. A lot happened last month. This in particular was very, very exciting. So this is the actual Times Saturday magazine with Naomi Campbell on the cover, and a very daunted looking yours truly. Look at this! I got published in the Times. I wrote a piece and they published it, my actual words and everything. It's crazy. Like pages, all my words, all my words. If you didn't see the actual thing, I will leave a link in the description for you so that you can go and have a look. But basically it was a piece about the reality of influencer life in Paris in particular. Please don't laugh at the photos. Oh my gosh, I just have so much to tell you about this piece. I have so much to tell you about the story behind it. Okay, so if you're a writer or you want to be a writer, you will understand the achievement, like just how much it means to be published in such a huge publication. I have, like, when I first started my blog, I used to pitch to the Times quite regularly. I used to spend an entire afternoon drafting pitches, and I'd pitch to all different big publications, big magazines, and the Times was always like the one that I wanted, because if you don't already know, Indian Night is one of my favourite writers, and she has a column in the Times which I absolutely love. I have loved her for years, and she was like a really big idol of mine, someone that I really looked up to and aspired to. So getting published in the Times was always, it was a huge, you know, goal for me. They never replied. They never replied to any of my pitches, not even to say no. It was always just, you know, basically, no, not gonna happen. And I wanted to share how this actually came about, in case you are someone who has big dreams and strives for big things, because I think it's really important to share the backstory of stuff like this, because on the surface, oh my God, you know, I got published in the Times and I'm in a magazine with Naomi Campbell on the cover and it all looks so effortless and easy. And it really wasn't. Like I said, I used to pitch and nothing would ever land. So the way that this actually came about was through Substack. So I had a meeting with Farah Store, who is an incredible writer, someone that, again, I have looked up to for years, especially in terms of writing advice. She is someone who is so knowledgeable. She was the editor of Elle magazine in the UK. She's so encouraging. I used to get the train down to London to watch her speak with my little notebook and pen. I love her, love her. And she works for Substack now, which, as you know, I write on. And if you are a writer, you should be on Substack. It's a great place on the internet. It's basically like a newsletter platform that you can subscribe to. Incredible writers are on there. Farah's on there, India Knight's on there, and yeah, just a whole range of different people. It's a really exciting space to be right now. I have a Substack. If you aren't already subscribed, I will leave a link in the description so that you can come and find me and my writing on there. So Farah came to Paris and she works for Substack now, and Substack is very interested in growing in France. So we've followed each other for a while. She asked if I wanted to meet for a coffee, and this story that I wrote was basically born out of a chat that we had. And it was the most bizarre thing because, like I said, I used to, you know, think so hard about my pictures and what would make a good story. And I was basically just chatting with Farah about my life here, and she said, you know, I'd really love to run a piece on my Substack about the realities of influencer life. And I said, well, I'll write it for you if you want. She's like, are you sure? I was like, yeah, of course I will, no problem. Then I felt really daunted because I told Farah that I would write this piece, so she's waiting for it. And if you think about writing as like, I don't know, making music, like this piece that I said I'd write was coming out like, you know, like the words, they just wouldn't flow because I was so scared and so intimidated. I thought she was just gonna laugh and say, why did I ask this girl to write this piece for me? She doesn't know anything about writing. Who is this person? She's ridiculous. Anyway, so I got to like 800 words of pure, what I felt was pure rubbish and clunk. And I sent it off anyway and thought, oh, never mind, you know, I wasn't able to do it, and it doesn't matter, at least I tried. She's never gonna run this. And she came back and was so encouraging and kind with her feedback. It was and I knew it was nowhere near done. Like I told her, I don't even like this, but I'm sending it you because I said that I would do. And she came back and she said, okay, we need more of your story in this. We need this and this. And she said, you know, start here, set the scene, and then gave me like a little bit of structure and made me feel like my story mattered and that she wanted the emotional side of my personal experience. So then I was away. So then I sat in a cafe like all afternoon and the words just came, they just flowed out of me. I sent it back to her and she absolutely loved it. She's like, the piece is amazing, I love it, I'm gonna have to edit it down. She edited it and then she published it on her Substack, which for me was a massive achievement enough. I felt so proud of myself, I felt so proud of the piece. I learned so much from working with someone who was such a skilled editor, and I missed that. Like, I loved writing my book because I got to work with an editor. It's the most incredible experience because you can just hand your work over to someone and then they help you, they make it better. It's great. I never take editing personally, critique personally or anything like that. So the piece ran. It was really successful. Farah's got a huge Substack following. Everyone loved it. And it was really great. But it was interesting because it was one of those pieces that I thought, oh, you know, like no problem. I can tell you what really
what really goes on. I had no emotional attachment to it whatsoever, and by no means did I think it was, and I still don't think that it was my best writing at all. So it was really fascinating that that was the piece that got published to such a huge audience, and I really wanted to share that with you. I really don't believe that it is necessarily our best work that gets the most critical acclaim, I guess, or gets in front of the biggest audience. I think so much more goes into it than that. So the piece ran on the Sunday, and the next thing, Farah is messaging me and she says, oh, the Times want to run your piece, which I knew would happen. I was like, what? What do you mean the Times? She was like, what do you think? And I was like, well, firstly, thank you for manifesting this for me, because if you knew it was going to happen, that's why it's happened. And secondly, of course the Times can run my piece. So then I'm finding myself in email conversations with the editor at the Times magazine, and they're like, yeah, we absolutely love it. We pay this a word. We really want to run it in our magazine. I'm like, literally, pinch me, pinch me, pinch me. What is going on? And then they were asking for photos for the piece as well. And then the next minute, they're messaging me and saying, oh, we think we're going to put you on the cover. We're going to send a photographer to Paris for you. I was like, this thing is growing arms and legs. What is happening? So they sent 2 photographers. They sent full hair and makeup to my apartment. I get in this Uber and go to the cafe where it's all approved that we're having like this photo shoot and stuff. I'm getting retouched constantly. So I said, like, don't laugh at the photos. The other thing is they told me not to smile. So it was just like, what is going on? I felt like a deer in headlights, and I think I look like a deer in headlights, especially without the smile, because that's like, I'm a very smiley person. So for them to tell me not to smile was really, really strange, but they were dead serious about it. And then they were putting all this red lipstick on me, and I'm like, don't really wear red lipstick. Like, no, but we need it, for the colour pop and la la la. And it was just nuts. Anyway, and then I asked if I could, well, can I see the photos, before it goes out? And they were like, oh no, we can't show you. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna be in one of the biggest newspapers in the UK that's sold all around the world. I haven't even seen these photos. For someone, as you know, who's quite, perfectionist and controlling, that was really, really scary. Then the piece came out and I couldn't find a copy of it in Paris. Luckily, my mom was coming over, so she brought me my copy. But yeah, she was on the phone. She was like, oh, you didn't make the cover though. And I was like, oh, well, never mind. It doesn't matter. I was like, who did, just out of interest? She was like, oh, they put Naomi Campbell on the cover. This will always be the story where I lost a cover to Naomi Campbell, and I'm okay with that. I'm perfectly okay with that. And that was a really special moment for me in itself, because earlier this year, one of my really big goals was to become more confident in front of the camera. I said, okay, I'm really ready to feel seen, and I really want to like put myself out there more and just feel more comfortable in my own skin, like in videos and having my photos taken and stuff like that. And I treated myself at the beginning of this year to a masterclass membership, which I recommend if you're interested in online education. They've got so many classes on there, really good ones, creativity, business, artsy stuff, loads and loads of different stuff. I'll leave a link, you can go and have a look. And one of the first classes that I did back in January was Naomi Campbell's modelling class, because I thought she would help me feel more comfortable in front of the camera, and she definitely did. And while I was having that photo shoot where I felt like a deer in headlights, I had all of her tips like in my head running through, and then she ended up on the cover. It was just the craziest. It felt so serendipitous, there was so much synchronicity in it for me. And my best friend Liam and I, we have loved Naomi Campbell since we were kids. Like we used to practice our model walk in my living room when we were kids, like pretending that we were Naomi. So I called Liam, like, oh my God, guess who's on the cover? It's Naomi. He was like, no way. Well, we'll definitely let her take this one. So yeah, that's the story behind the big being published in the Times, which, I mean, it really does feel like a career highlight. But it's an interesting experience because, as I said, by no means do I look at that and think that's my best work ever. It's not. It's heavily edited, and that's okay. That's just something that happens, I guess, when you're published. And it was really interesting because, I mean, I prefer the piece that ran on Farah's Substack. It feels more like me. It has a lot more emotion and story in it, and I think the Times, they took quite a bit of that out. Like they definitely had a very clear agenda, as the media do, which is clickbait and to get as much attention as possible. And I could see them doing that, and the questions that they asked me were so personal and so you know, wanting to spark reaction. They were like, how much money do you make? Are you lonely? Do you have a boyfriend? I was like, what is this? So journalistic and so direct. But yeah, super fun. And I specifically wanted to share the story with you for anyone who, as I said, has dreams of, you know, like big things, like being published in a big magazine like that, because I think it's always interesting to hear the backstory about how stuff like that comes about. And since then, and I knew this was going to happen, and I knew that I had to try and keep a grip on it as much as possible, I kind of freaked out, because that's what I do. It always happens if a YouTube video does really well, something like, you know, when my book came out, or getting published, I feel so seen, I feel so naked, and I got so much so, you know, messages and comments, and it's like I struggle. I really struggle. I struggle with stereotypical success. Like failure, I'm okay with, because the self-belief that I've got is that, you know, I'm only so good at stuff. So when that's challenged by something like my writing is published in the Times, I don't know, you know, psychologically I don't quite know what to do with it. So I freaked out and kind of retreated a little bit, and that is definitely the reason why I've been pretty quiet. That's another reason why I wanted to talk about it with you guys, instead of sweeping it under the carpet, not talking about it at all, and just pretending like it didn't happen, because I don't know. Let me know if you have this. Let me know if this is like a common thing for you. If you, I don't know, I guess it's self-sabotage in a way. Let me know if you struggle with that as well. If you do, I'm cheering you on, because yeah, I think it's really important, and I hope that by sharing my story, I'm encouraging you to cheer yourself on as well, and for us all to cheer one another on, because we rise together, and encouragement matters. Having people believe in us matters, and you need people to believe in you, and sometimes you need other people to believe in you when you don't quite believe in yourself. But yeah, that's the whole story behind the Times piece. I did take a moment to really enjoy it and to celebrate it, and I did reward myself with it as well. I went out and bought myself a brand new fountain pen, which I absolutely treasure, that I know I'll keep for years and years to come, and I'll always remember it as, yes, you know, I bought this when I was published in the Times. So please do that as well. That felt really good. Celebrate your successes, no matter how big or small. Lean into them. Be proud of yourself. It's really important. I find it difficult as well, but I am trying, and I really want to encourage you to do the same. So that's the roundup. That's everything that I wanted to like touch base with you on. I hope you've enjoyed a bit more of a vloggy catch up kind of style. You know, if this is a kind of vlog style that you like to see. I hope that you're okay. I hope that you're enjoying summer or winter, wherever you are, which hemisphere you're in. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I will chat to you in the comments, and I will